We want to find the value of sine of negative 60 degrees. Because the sine function is odd, the sine of negative 60 degrees is going to equal negative sine of 60 degrees. The sine of 60 degrees is square root of 3 over 2, so this result is negative root 3 over 2. Remember, if a function is even, then its graph will be symmetric with respect to the y-axis. If a function is odd, then its graph will be symmetric with respect to the origin. We want to know whether the sine function is even, odd, or neither. Well, if the sine function is going to be even, then it must be the case that the sine of theta equals the sine of negative theta. The sine of theta is equal to the y-coordinate of the point corresponding to the angle theta, so the sine of theta is b. The sine of negative theta is negative b. Because b does not equal negative b, sine of theta does not equal the sine of negative theta, and therefore the sine function is not even. If the sine function is going to be odd, then it must be the case that the sine of negative theta equals negative sine theta. Well, the sine of negative theta is negative b, and the negative sine of theta is also negative b. Because sine of negative theta equals negative sine of theta, the sine function is odd. Because the sine function is odd, its graph is symmetric with respect to the origin. Remember, this means that if the point xy is on the graph of y equals sine of x, then so is negative x comma negative y.